Please hang up and try again.
Freak Radio Network, broadcasting from the Lucas Oil Studios. Driven by General Tire. It's Speed Freaks. Motorsports Radio redefined with Kenny Sargent.
We love to party.
Crash Gladys.
What are we doing for the bachelorette party?
And Statman.
I am serious.
Here's the Freaks.
Freak Nation, you can call him Dad now. It's no longer Smoke. It's no longer Tony Stewart. It's just freaking Dad. Tony Stewart and Leah Pruitt have their baby boy. We'll get to that in the show. Greg Anderson, you can crown him 6-time NHRA Pro Stock champion. He'll be joining us this hour. NHRA Top Fuel champion 4 times over. Antron Brown, we look to get him here in the Freak Nation. Ryan Blaney, Kyle Larson, Steve O'Donnell, Steve Phelps. It's going to be that kind of a show, Freak Nation. And we were talking about this just before we went live, where you have the whole thing scripted out, man, then all of a sudden, bam, a plane crashes at the end of the top of the end of the drag strip for the NHRA. I'm being a bit facetious, but that did happen. That did. Crasher, you're there in Pomona. Did you have to hear from somebody that it happened, or did you actually see that Cessna or that prop plane crash into the RVs?
I was on the starting line because coming up right there in the water box, that they were just getting ready to roll into the water box, was Justin Ashley, your points leader in Top Fuel, and Antron Brown, the man chasing him, who ended up going on to win the championship. More on that later. They were just getting ready to roll out, and I wasn't watching the top end. We just had a pair go down successfully. I think Jasmine Salinas blew something, so we knew it was going to be a slight delay. And then all of a sudden you hear a couple of people go, oh, and a couple people pointing to the top end. Didn't really know what it was. And then all of a sudden sirens came up. And then one of the big safety safari guys from the starting line where I was just cranked on his horn and started honking, trying to get everybody out of his way so that he could get up to the top end of the track. And we're like, what is going on? Finally, as that truck was going around us, Alan Reinhart comes on and tells us on the PA what's going on. And we were just dumbfounded. We thought, what? In the 25 years that we've been doing this together as Speed Freaks, never once have we seen anything like that at the top end. Thankfully, we are able to talk about this as people that survived this plane crash. It was a Cessna that went down and into the motorhome lot. Lots of damage, but I've heard conflicting reports. 3 people taken to the hospital, 4 people taken to the hospital with injuries, but it appears everybody's going to be okay. And the day went on, but wow, what a crazy, crazy event. And that's how we kicked off this NHRA Finals weekend.
Statman, Pomona is unique in and of itself. It's an anomaly, frankly. It's a track that was built so many years ago that they did not think at that time that neighborhoods and businesses were going to be built around it. Well, it did. And the drag strip actually, it dead ends into a neighborhood and a golf course. And over that drag strip, you see planes every freaking race about 100, 200 feet above that strip, landing on that Pomona airport just to the west of the strip, Stat. So I'm surprised that this is the first time that this has happened in our 25 years of doing Speed Freaks.
That track has got so much history. In fact, I've taught at there's a small liberal arts college across the street from the start-finish line. I've taught there and been in classes when they are starting, practice runs, and the classroom is actually closer to the start line than the pits, so the noise there is staggering. You have to stop talking and just wait for all that Jurassic noise just goes by the wayside. But people are used to it. That's the way it is in Pomona. And having that racetrack there, I mean, it's one of the shortest shutdown areas in the championship.
And
Yeah, this is one of those tracks where we were very happy. We were all very happy when the cut was made to 1,000 feet instead of 1,320, instead of a quarter mile, because Pomona needed it to be 1,000 feet. Because you're right, we've seen some tragedies at this track because of the lack of shut space. So it's good to be 1,000 feet here for sure.
Well, and you bring that up, Crasher. It's that talking about the shutdown space being minimal compared to other tracks, now 1,000 feet. Austin Proctor, NHRA Funny Car champion, 341 miles per hour in 1,000 feet.
That's
Listen,
that's faster than Top Fuel.
that's 59 miles less than 400 miles per hour in 1,000 feet. 1,000 feet.
I was talking to one driver, I don't know, a couple of years ago, and they said, why don't they go to quarter mile at some of the tracks where you have the shutdown area? And he just laughed and said, if they went to a quarter mile, we'll be going 350 miles an hour at the quarter mile. And here they are at over 340 at 1,000 feet. So they're going to have to do something, because it's getting very fast for, when the car hooks up, there's no telling how fast it'll go, even at 1,000 feet.
Crasher is
for people
live
out there
on
that are listening to
phone.
what you
Go ahead.
For people out there that are listening, that are listening to what Statman just said, just to kind of put a bow on that, yes, there are still people that want to have a quarter mile race. But what has happened since they made the cut down to 1,000 feet is that they realized how many pieces and parts were being busted up from 1,000 feet to the quarter mile mark. And this is just, it's kind of saving teams money, and it's just causing less chaos. And so, yeah, your 341 resemblance is like, wait a minute, imagine if we were still there, all the stuff that would just blow up between 1,000 feet and quarter mile, it's not worth it. What we have now at 1,000 feet is tremendous. No need to change it.
Dare I say this? If NHRA puts a speed limit, if you go over it's going to be all about reaction. Okay, every car can go 329.9999999, but if you go 330, you lose. I mean, I know drag racing's about getting the first one down there, and but these guys are so freaking brilliant. They'll put 16 pair. You got to drop the parachute at the start, and they'll still find a way to go 300 miles an hour.
Well, as it is, a lot of the cars are pulling the parachute before they get to the start-finish line, because by the time they're going so fast, by the time the parachute billows out, they're far beyond where the finish is. But I don't know. I'd imagine in bracket racing, if you have one of those shutdown boxes, only 11,000 horsepower funny car, that'd be pretty silly.
Yeah, Mr. NHRA is up in the tower going, don't do it. Oh, he didn't click. Joe Amato told us, Joe Amato, top fuel champion several times over back in the day, told us that I think twice he had detached retinas. And of course, that's not from the start. It's from when he deploys the chutes, and his head just, whoa, and his eyeballs go. Yeah.
No, that I can't even fathom. Nope.
Richie, how's it going there, buddy? Have you said a word tonight yet, my friend?
No. Well, because I'm newer to the NHRA than everybody else, so I don't have the history with the sport that y'all do. So, but when you say 340 miles per hour, it's like that's a massive number, and it's hard to try and explain what that's like in person. And I'm glad that I got to go. I've gotten to go multiple times now and stand pretty damn close to these 11,000 horsepower machines. And it's like, I was watching some of the coverage today on Fox, and I go, man, I wish I was back there today, because it's indescribable what it feels like to experience that in person. I think it stinks that the TV product, you just can't get that, and it's a shame.
Yeah, some of the supercars advertise 0 to 60 in 1.2 seconds or something. These cars go 0 to 100 in less than a second. And they 0 to 341 in less than 4 seconds. You can't you can't comprehend that kind of speed. You can't see or understand that kind of speed.
I will say this, though. Richie, you and I were talking earlier.
Yes.
And you reminded me what's going on coming up next weekend.
That's right. Yeah. Yes. Oh, I'm so excited. We're like 4 days away from the Las Vegas Grand Prix, year number 2, baby. Let's go. Come on.
And you know what Richie said to me? He says, "Oh, hell, we got a break, don't we? We got a break? No, that's right. We got a minute. Sorry." He says, "Kenny, I bet you didn't even know Formula One's this weekend, did you?"
Yeah, they have to literally batten down the hatches in Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Oh, boy. Yeah, we'll talk about that. Maybe we'll give Richie 5 good minutes about Formula One. Maybe not. We probably won't. Richie, you got the picture of Smoke and his beautiful. Look at that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
She still looks good. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
She just had a baby, for crying out loud. Wow.
Look at that. If you're watching us, you'll see Tony Stewart and Leah Pruitt with. Did they have a name for? They didn't have a name initially, right?
I heard Dominic was on the broadcast today. I heard that name. Yeah.
Dominic James Stewart. That's his name. Mm-hmm.
But didn't we talk to them earlier? Hell, we got a break now. Sorry, we got a break. All right. The 2 Steves, Greg Anderson, Ryan Blaney, Kyle Larson, all coming to Speed Freaks Pits and the Lucas Oil Studios. We did it. First segment.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
Whatever you do, General Tire delivers.
From the labs at Lucas Oil Products, Lucas Oil Complete Engine Treatment is a multifunctional cleaner plus lubricant. For every fill-up of gas or diesel, add 1 16-ounce can of Lucas Oil Complete Engine Treatment. 1 bottle can treat a tank of up to 21 gallons. Its special additives allows a better fuel burn to help increase your miles per gallon. Expect longer engine life, longer oil life, cleaner exhaust, and less fuel consumption. Lucas Oil. It works.
Rev up your passion for speed. Mav TV Go is the ultimate streaming app for race fans. Enjoy exclusive racing, live events, groundbreaking originals, and a lot more. Anytime, anywhere, for free. Whether you're a diehard or just getting started, Mav TV Go has something for everyone. Mav TV Go, your global home of motorsports, now on the go. Download the app now.
3 years of sellout crowds. 3 years of edge-of-your-seat action. 3 years of jaw-dropping finishes. Worldwide Technology Raceway has rocked the world of NASCAR. And now, NASCAR is giving us another reason to celebrate. The 2025 NASCAR Cup Series Championship playoffs are coming. Sunday, September 7th, 2025. Go to www.raceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
You're listening to Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
Freak Nation, he is now a 6-time NHRA Pro Stock champion, tying Erica Enders and that dude, Warren Johnson. Oh, my goodness. This is going on right now on the Freak Radio Network.
I am.
Groupie.
Number 1 fan, by the way.
Groupie.
Check my jacket out.
Okay, let me see your jacket. Oh, yes. There it is. All right.
Damn cool. Y'all want one, don't
She
you?
look good in a WWE ring, wouldn't she?
Yes, you would.
Ring girl.
Hey,
Ring girl.
Anderson, listen, you're on live Freak Radio Network and TV as a 6-time champion, my friend. Warren Johnson tying him with championships. But, dude, that final going up against Dallas Glenn, any doubts once you put that helmet on?
Any doubts? Are you kidding me? That's all I had. The guy's bad to the bone. The kid's mean. He's terrible. He's double over 3 every time he lets the clutch out. He's got a fast race car. And, well, I got a fast race car. I don't have the rest of it, I guess. But somehow I did just good enough. 2000's good enough. And we're world champs. How about that, boys?
Hey, Greg, how soon do you know that you won a race when it's that close? Do you have somebody in your ear?
No, there's a light at the finish line, Kenny. There's a light on the wall, and a lot of people look over and see where the other guy's at in the other lane. I refuse to do that because I refuse to see that I'm behind. I don't want to break my heart before I get to the finish line. So I stare at that little light that's about 100 foot past the finish line, and when it comes on, it's your best friend. When it doesn't, then it's the worst thing in the world. But it came on tonight, and the good Lord shined on us, and then I'm a world champ again. So feels like it's been a while, but I'm back.
Wow. Greg Anderson, 6 championships. You're tied with Warren, who you used to work for. I bet you feel really good about that, don't you?
I do feel really good. It's been a struggle. It's been tough. These young guys are something else. They know how to drive the wheels off these race cars. They've got race cars every bit as good as I have. And,
well, wait, no, come on. I'm not going to let you get away with that. You beat them all year long. You beat them today, and you're going to beat them next year for your 7th championship. I want you ahead of Warren Johnson when you say goodbye.
Well, I want to be too, and that would be great. But these guys don't want to see anything about that. They're tired of the old guys winning. It's time for the new draw, the new young guns to take over. That's what their mindset is. They could give a crap less when they stage up there next to me. They don't care how many wins I got, how many titles I have. They could care less. All they know is it's their time. Greg,
I'm an old guy, and I am not tired of the old guys winning. I'm cheering right now for the old guy next year. I want you to be on top next year again.
Thank you, Stat. I appreciate that. That's pretty cool to hear. And it's neat. It's cool that we have all these young guys, but we still have some of the crusty old veterans. And if you didn't have both, the class probably wouldn't be so cool. But it's that cool right now because you have both. And the old guys are still able to win. That's what really makes it neat. So it's really great. The class is as good as it's ever been. And the future obviously looks great with all these young guys coming in. I'm going to hang in as long as I can until I can't win anymore. And that's not today. So I'm coming back next year, boys.
Just walk down the hill and do them all, partner.
That's the plan. That is the plan. Unfortunately for me, I might fall down the hill.
Greg Anderson, 6-time NHRA Pro Stock champion here in the Freak Nation. And shed a little light on this. I don't care if it's IndyCar, if it's a National Football League. Once men and women get older in their respective sport, their chops seem to wear. But
you lose a step, Kenny. You just lose a step, period.
Okay. No, I understand that, Anderson. But you're winning championships. Dudes your age are not winning championships in IndyCar and Supercross and stock cars.
That's why I picked drag racing. You can hang longer than you can in them other sports.
Give yourself some credit, my friend. Anderson, listen, you've got to cut the light. That's so important. And you know how our eyesight goes when we get older.
Yeah, I know. I can't even see you guys right now. I see a shadow. That's about all I see.
Greg Anderson, have you heard anything from Rick Hendrick yet?
I haven't because I don't have my phone on me, but I guarantee he's rang, and I'm going to give him a holler as soon as I get back to the pit because I was over there last week and saw the man. We had a little send-off, and they had their engine build going on, and he's like, you know what? We just didn't get it done this weekend. Would you please try and bring me some hardware home? And I said, boss, you got any more room in that trophy case in that museum you got? He says, I will add on. Just bring that trophy home, and I'll add on. So,
yeah,
hopefully
tonight. You're the man now, Greg Anderson. You're a 6-time champion, and you got more championships this year than anybody else at Hendrick Motorsport.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. But, they're obviously a great group over there, and they like to win. They don't do it just to do it. They love to win. Mr. Hendrick loves to win. So you better win or don't come home. In fact, he did mention that. Don't bother coming home if you don't bring that trophy home. Hey, I love that. I love that about him.
Greg, one last thing for I know you want to get off this damn interview and go party, but in the other class, in funny cars, when Jack Beckman is sitting there repairing elevators and gets a phone call to come drive a 330 mile per hour funny car, a dude like yourself who watches those cars go, 100 mile an hour faster than what you do, how difficult is that for a driver to jump into a funny car, even though he's won championships, but it's been out a couple of years from your perspective?
I can't give him enough credit. He not only did he come back and like fill the seat, he's been winning races. I don't know, he's won 2 or 3 or 4 races since he came back. So it's pretty crazy that he has been able to jump right back in and do what he's done. So obviously a very talented man. He's a cool dude. You guys know him. He's a great guy, and he's a great friend of mine, and I'm so proud of him. But you know what? It's like riding a bike, they say. Once you ride it, once you figure it out, you always got it until you get too old.
You keep rubbing your eyes. Do you already have champagne in your eyes?
I got champagne. I got everything. And maybe a couple tears. I got all kinds of maybe a little bit of everything. Yes, it's been quite a day. We had all kinds of crazy things happen here today. We actually had an airplane come down in the pit area. I don't know if you saw that or not, but we had a delay today. An airplane decided this is a good place to land, and he dropped her down in the pit area. So we had a delay, and I hope and I hear and thank God that nobody got seriously hurt. They all survived, but it's there's a part of the racetrack here that looks like a war zone tonight. It's a lot of crazy things happen today.
Greg Anderson, 6-time NHRA Pro Stock champion, once again here in the Freak Nation. Brother, Happy New Year to you. Happy holidays. We look forward to getting you back in here in 2025, my friend.
I appreciate you guys forever, guys. Thanks so much. Going to be a big night.
See you, Greg.
Thanks, guys.
Oh, he's so good. He's so damn good.
He's genuine.
Oh, yeah.
I was at LAX after Pomona won, I don't know how many years ago it was. I don't think he won a championship that year. But I'm washing my hands in the John, and Greg Anderson walks up beside me, and we start talking. We walked out to the gate and start talking, just about life. And, he didn't shine me on. He's just a good dude. He's somebody you want to talk to and you feel happy for when he wins a championship. Some guys, if they win a championship, I wouldn't cross the street to shake their hand. But Greg Anderson is one guy that I really cheer for.
And Greg shook your hand after washing your hands in the John. So there you go.
Wow, why do they call it the John? Why do they call it the Joe or the Jimmy? Why?
As long as it's not the Greg, everything is okay.
Freak Nation, we got the two Steves. We have Steve O'Donnell and Steve Phelps, the top executives with NASCAR. They had the State of NASCAR address just prior to the Phoenix finale, the Cup Series last weekend. We've got them coming up next with some other answers to your burning questions. Including, and I forgot about this, 3 of their biggest races being delayed, and biggest, okay, is the operative word here, being delayed due to rain and how they bounced back from that. Steve Phelps talks about that. That's coming up next. Also coming up, we're looking for Antron Brown, NHRA top fuel pilot. Crasher, where you're standing, you can see Victory Lane, right? You can see the winner's circle, whatever the hell they call it. And she's frozen. Yep, she is frozen up right now, Freak Nation. Yep, she is frozen. Okay.
I see a bunch of white championship hats.
There you go. When you go to crash, she freezes. That typically does not happen.
Sorry.
Freak Nation. So, yeah, we're looking to get Antron Brown here in the Freak Nation. Also, Ryan Blaney next hour and Kyle Larson, your Statman Scat. Yeah, Roger Penske purchased another crown jewel in motorsports. We'll get to that with your Statman Scat coming up in about 15, 20 minutes. Make sure you're part of this big old thing. Again, coming up June of next year, we celebrate 25 years of Speed Freaks, the Freak Radio Network, and, of course, right here on MAV TV. Looking for Antron Brown, Ryan Blaney, Kyle Larson, the two Steves from NASCAR. It's all coming up right here, Freak Nation. Speed Freaks Pits and the Lucas Oil Studios.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
As your power steering pump ages, seal leaks may occur, causing the power steering system to lose fluid. Your power steering system may also develop an annoying squeal, and the steering may become more difficult to handle. By using Lucas Power Steering Stop Leak, you will stop the seal leaks, reduce slack in rack and pinion, eliminate the squeals and hard spots in your power steering system. It is guaranteed to stop seal leaks or your money back. Lucas Power Steering Stop Leak. It works.
Whatever you do, General Tire delivers.
Rev up your passion for speed. Mav TV Go is the ultimate streaming app for race fans. Enjoy exclusive racing, live events, groundbreaking originals, and a lot more. Anytime, anywhere, for free. Whether you're a diehard or just getting started, Mav TV Go has something for everyone. Mav TV Go, your global home of motorsports, now on the go. Download the app now.
3 years of sellout crowds. 3 years of edge of your seat action. 3 years of jaw-dropping finishes. Worldwide Technology Raceway has rocked the world of NASCAR. And now, NASCAR is giving us another reason to celebrate. The 2025 NASCAR Cup Series Championship playoffs are coming. Sunday, September 7th, 2025. Go to www.raceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
Looking for power to spare? Count on an FVP battery. FVP. Verified, proven.
You're listening to Speed Freaks Motorsports Radio Redefined.
This freaking segment is brought to you by our friends at Lucas Oil. Now, what automobile do you have in the garage? I bet Lucas Oil could keep that thing fat and happy and on the road. From everyday car care, heavy-duty trucking to agriculture, hot rods, classic cars, motorcycles, and marine, Lucas Oil has what you need to keep those engines, interiors, and exteriors looking like and running like they're supposed to be. For more information, go to the website, lucasoil.com, and find the perfect Lucas Oil product. Keep your rides on the road. Listen, when Tony Stewart, I mean, he couldn't have planned it any better. Tony Stewart, Leah Pruitt gave birth to their baby boy today. The last day of the NHRA, and Tony Stewart doesn't have to answer one freaking question for the next 2 or 3 months about being a father. He can just sit in his crib with his baby in his crib and just be a father. I think he could time it better than that, Crasher.
No, he couldn't. I really, really thought that he was going to go out with a win today, too, on his baby's actual birthday. Didn't quite make that in the cards, but Tony had a stellar day, regardless, making it to the final, or excuse me, to the semifinals, but just 4:43 in the morning. I think that's what it was. 4:43, 4:48. I don't think he slept, barely slept from midnight until basically right now, Sunday night. It's just, his world has been turned upside down. Things are about to get amazing for his off season.
His world is upside down for the next 25 years.
So true.
It's, again, when reaction time is the utmost importance outside of horsepower and grip in a top fuel car, and he's out there working his way through the field into the quarterfinals, semifinals. Holy smokes. Literally loses to Doug Coletta. And now your NHRA top fuel champion 4 times over, Antron Brown. We hope to get him here in the Freak Nation.
He is literally right in front of me taking pictures. I see him holding his championship trophy. He's sitting on his rail. It's still going to be a little bit, it looks like.
Okay. Well, let's do this. Steve Phelps, the president of NASCAR, and Steve O'Donnell, chief operating officer of NASCAR. They meet with the media just prior to their final race every year, and they did it again this year prior to Phoenix. You might have seen some of this 45-minute pomp and circumstance Q&A that went down with the media. Here's some interesting sound bites that we grabbed from the press conference. And the first one has to do with rainouts at 3 or 4 very important races for the series and how they climb back up for a net positive in ratings. Rainouts just don't work well with TV ratings when you move races to Saturday night and you move them to freaking Mondays, but somehow they pulled it out. Steve Phelps talking about rainouts and the ratings for the 2024 NASCAR season.
Ratings. I'll spend a little time on ratings because it's super important. I want to go back and have a little story time at the beginning of this year to early February. We had an event, the Clash at the Coliseum, and we were looking at a historic atmospheric river event, I believe is what they called it. Just a lot of rain. I guess we'll go with that. And so we did something we had never done before. We pulled a race up a day, and we raced on Saturday night. Got crushed in the rating, right? So fans didn't know when it was, how we're going to get there. Saturday night's the lowest rated day of the week. But it was the right thing to do. It was a financial bath for us, but it was the right thing to do for the industry. Go 2 weeks down the road, and we had more rain. And so we delayed the start of that race a full day, and we took a ratings bath. So we were down minus 27. Then we had rain-shortened race at the Coca-Cola 600, a rain-interrupted event at the Chicago Street Race. So 3 of your biggest races down double digits. So mid-teens for the 600 and for the Chicago Street Race, and then minus 27. If you had asked me at the beginning of the year, I will bet you that you can dig out of a 27% hole at the 500 and then 2 double-digit ratings declines on your next 2 highest-rated races, or 2 of the 3 highest-rated races, I would have said there is no way that's going to happen. As we sit here for our Cup races, we are in the positive numbers. And what does that say to me? It says the sport is resilient and the sport is growing.
Steve Phelps, president of NASCAR, for their State of the Series address prior to the Cup race last weekend in Phoenix. Richie, you were at the Clash where you got yourself a little soggy. Then you went to Chicago, you got yourself a little soggy. I was at Daytona, I got soggy. I went to Charlotte for the 600 and I got soggy. But damn it, we made it through, my friend.
We did. I don't know. We just can't go any more races this year. Just stay in Phoenix. That's what, if you don't leave Phoenix and you have all 36 races in Phoenix, no rain delays.
And there's where ratings do turn off, unless you are the Xfinity Series. That's not a fan favorite. Let's just put it that way.
Steve Phelps. I enjoy these little state of the addresses from these guys. Because when you're used to, I'm not saying they're 100% transparent, but when you got the likes of Roger Goodell, who's the freaking troll, the NHRA, Richie, or with the NHL?
Oh, he's dead to me. Gary Bettman.
Yeah.
Troll? He's the commissioner, isn't he?
Troll? Probably too tall to be a troll.
He couldn't fit under the bridge. Huh?
Hey, yo. When Steve O'Donnell it's when he was talking about Martinsville and how pissed off he was at the manufacturers and the teams blocking and doing this and that to change the outcome of that race. He was pissed. But just the fact they get up there and get grilled is always fun. Freak Nation, his name is Steve O'Donnell, Chief Operating Officer. And he was asked several times about improving the officiating with NASCAR because there's been several controversial finishes, several controversies throughout the last 3 or 4 years that, frankly, have affected the outcome of the race. And here's Steve O'Donnell being Steve O'Donnell when it comes to updating the officiating and the officiating rules for 2025 and NASCAR.
Can you name one sport that doesn't have officiating questions throughout the year, right? So absolutely, we every year we address those, and I think a lot of it is around technology, right? And a lot of it's around formats that you look at and different things that come into play now. So, one of the biggest ones that we saw, consistently, right, was the damaged vehicle policy. Through really no fault of trying to, in essence, save the industry money, we created a challenge in terms of how we officiate. And so that's something we want to continue to investigate. And I think one of the biggest things you want to do is how do we continue to use technology in real time to notice what may or may not be occurring on the track, address that as soon as possible. But I don't believe we have an officiating issue at all. I think we have the best and the brightest in the business. Yes, we make mistakes. They're humans. Hopefully we'll never get to just AI making calls. But we will make adjustments. And I think if me or John or Elton or Steve are not up talking before the Daytona 500 about adjustments that we've made, then we haven't done our job, because that's what we always do in the off season.
Steve O'Donnell talking about the officiating and how they hope to roll with the changes, make those changes as they come about. Steve Phelps was also asked about officiating, or was it Phelps? Or hold on a second. No. It was actually Steve O'Donnell with a part 2 when it comes to officiating and updating the officiating rules for 2025.
Are there some things we need to look at in terms of how things are communicated, what can be communicated between team alliances or OEMs in general during a race? Absolutely. We'll continue to address those. I don't think anyone has any doubt. I would look at what Ricky Craven said, what Mark Martin said, guys who have been in this industry a long, long time, raced during Boys Have At It, unequivocally said what they saw at Martinsville. Everybody understands what happened, and we made that call. Was it perfect in terms of all the data? No, right? But we will put things in place to make those calls going forward. And I guess, Jenna, the thing I would say is we're not going to allow the integrity of the sport to be called into question. And of course, it sounds, Steve O'Donnell, like a bit of sorry about this. A push, but you always see something new.
Steve, be quiet. We'll hear more from Steve O'Donnell and Steve Phelps as we continue. Speed Freaks Pits and the Lucas Oil Studios.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
Keeping your pride and joy perfect is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Start with Slick Mist Speed Wax. Simply mist on and wipe off for professional detail or shine. For your tires and trim, there's Lucas Slick Mist Tire and Trim Shine. Spray on and wipe off for better than new look. Then finish her with Lucas Slick Mist Interior Detailer. Just spray and wipe. Easy. Use Lucas Slick Mist Car Care products and she'll never look better. Fast, easy, and professional. Really, it's sort of like having an extra set of hands. Or 3.
Rev up your passion for speed. Mav TV Go is the ultimate streaming app for race fans. Enjoy exclusive racing, live events, groundbreaking originals, and a lot more. Anytime, anywhere, for free. Whether you're a diehard or just getting started, Mav TV Go has something for everyone. Mav TV Go, your global home of motorsports, now on the go. Download the app now.
Whatever you do, General Tire delivers.
Looking for power to spare? Count on an FVP battery. FVP. Verified, proven.
3 years of sellout crowds, 3 years of edge of your seat action, 3 years of jaw-dropping finishes. Worldwide Technology Raceway has rocked the world of NASCAR, and now NASCAR is giving us another reason to celebrate. The 2025 NASCAR Cup Series Championship playoffs are coming Sunday, September 7th, 2025. Go to www.raceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
Freak Nation, head to your local General Tire dealership now to check out the latest additions to their product lineup. The Grabber family of tires are engineered for durability and feature innovative performance features that offer all-terrain capability, blending exceptional off-road durability and impressive on-road performance, all while sporting aggressive styling. For outstanding off-road performance coupled with strong street manners, look no further than General Tire. General Tire delivers for whatever you do, and the official tire of Speed Freaks since 2001.
You're listening to Speed Freaks Motorsports Radio Redefined.
Your Statman Scat, brought to you by STEM Stories, When Racing Goes to School and Grows Up, by Bill Wood, a.k.a. Statman. Now look, motorsports are at a crossroads, and out of the cloudy future, however, comes STEM education. Motorsports are the perfect vehicle to teach science, technology, engineering, and math to the next generation of racing fans. Get a copy of STEM Stories now at Amazon.com.
So Roger Penske Entertainment owns the Grand Prix Association of Long Beach. That's America's Monaco ever since it was born in 1975. The 50th anniversary is next spring. Penske Entertainment already owns the IndyCar Series and controls its two biggest events, the Indy 500 and now the Long Beach Grand Prix. This week's release seems to indicate President and CEO Jim McCallion will remain in charge of running the racing at the Grand Prix. Now, obviously, Roger Penske is a brilliant businessman, billionaire. But Roger had a large voice in kart and champ car, and they both failed. The Grand Prix, however, is Southern California's opening of spring. As long as that appeal remains and marginal racing fans can find a line to buy tickets, the Grand Prix will continue to flourish. Penske should know he was the largest ticket buyer for years as he built his billion-dollar businesses. What scares me, though, is looking to build the IndyCar brand behind armed guards like at the Country Club racetrack in Thermal outside nearby Palm Springs. Ticket selling is very different from ticket buying. I'm sure Roger Penske understands that. Peace.
Now, the bright spot about that purchase to me, Statman, is that he's, according to your scat, he's allowing Jim McCallion, who's been there for decades, to continue to oversee and run that race. And McCallion, who took over from Chris Pook back in the day, I think McCallion's done a bang-up job. Do you understand if McCallion's going to have McCallion is going to have free reign or to continue to do what he does with the race?
Well, I think he'll continue to do what he does, but he's got a new boss. Penske bought the race from Gerald Forsythe, and McCallion worked for Forsythe, so he knows how to work for people. But I would hope that that's the case and that Penske doesn't get in and muck up the stuff. McCallion knows what he's doing. He understands the marketplace. Next year it'll be 50 years. So he knows what he's doing. In fact, I've had casual conversations with him about the race, and he listens to people. That's the best thing about McCallion, is that he listens and wants to do what's right for the audience.
Crasher, you're, of course, more familiar with that series than I am, but Forsythe purchased the series and took on
the event, not the series. The event.
The event. And there was a time where NASCAR was knocking at the door, Formula One was knocking at the door. When Forsyth purchased this event, was it to prevent these guys from coming in initially?
That's what I've understood it to be. And what he did was, and Statman, correct me if I'm wrong, he purchased 51% of it, right? It was what was left in Calcoven's will or his trust in order to preserve it, to keep it as open wheel.
Exactly. Calcoven and Forsyth were owners. Calcoven, when he died, I think Forsyth took over a piece of Calcoven's piece, and Penske bought all of what Forsyth owned. So he owns the event now. But the thing about McCallion is he's a racer, and we've seen him race in the 24-hour Rolex 24. And he understands racing. He understands audience. He's built that when people were losing money all over racing, he's built the Long Beach Grand Prix to make it a rite of spring in Southern California. We've been to the event at parties on boats where you could barely see the track, and there were people out there having a grand time. That's why they came to the Long Beach Grand Prix. My son had friends that would go every year, and they aren't race fans, but that's what you do when you are in Southern California and you want something to do in April. You go to the race, and that's what they get, anywhere from 100 to over 200,000 on a weekend to go see racing, one right after the other. IMSA, World Challenge, Trans Am, all sorts of racing. Robbie Gordon's stadium trucks. There's racing one right after the other all weekend.
And don't forget, kicking it off. Yes, I was just going to say, kicking it off the weekend prior, drifting, their season opener. So yeah, it is a very well put together event. Jim McCallion deserves a ton of the credit for that. And yes, that makes me very happy knowing that Roger Penske will allow Jim to continue doing what he has done successfully. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. The crowds were back a little bit last year. They've been gaining over the last couple of years. So yeah, leading into the 50th, just let it stay because it's going to be good.
The first time I went to the Long Beach Grand Prix was, 91, when I was working for Pirate Radio at the time there in Los Angeles. And I was out there doing some broadcast, and Vince Neil of Motley Crue was running in the, I believe, Crash, it was the Atlantic Series at the time, the feeder series.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
I thought you were going to say the celebrity race, but I had completely forgotten about his open wheel career.
Yeah. And it was right around the time, I believe he split from Motley Crue, and I spent some time with him, and it's like, what, Vince Neil, an open wheel car, the Atlantic Series. And I went, dude, you're in freaking Southern California, man. Anything can happen in this damn place.
Yeah. And the race changed Long Beach. Long Beach used to be a naval stop for guys to go to the Pike and get involved in all sorts of stuff. But the race, in fact, for a couple of years, the picture of the race were the cars going by an X-rated movie house up on Ocean Boulevard. And that was over anything else. You had to get, the X-rated movie house marquee that went out, covered the sidewalk, and the cars almost went under it. But they stopped.
Wasn't that when it was Formula One? Wasn't that Formula One with the X-rated pictures in the background?
Yeah. And then they stopped going up to Ocean and went through. They said they went through the parking garage under the convention center, but it is over an overpass. But yeah, the Pike, which was a rundown carnival grounds, is now one of the places you go to in Southern California for restaurants, and it's expanded up on the top of the hill there. It's incredible what the race has done for the city of Long Beach. Is incredible.
And any actor of substance was part of the Celebrity Grand Prix. and running those little Toyota Celicas. It was just the party. And again, I know we're going on and on about Long Beach Grand Prix, but the significance of that race and the party around it's.
Well, hold on. The reason we're going on and on about it is because just a year ago, we were talking about, will NASCAR be racing in Long Beach? Because they need the Southern California market, and they're going to lose the Coliseum and the Clash. So this has been a year of a story that's developed and changed, and now Penske has secured it for open wheel. He just bought the rights to it all this past week. So yes, it is a big story this week.
So he can keep the series out of his race, the series that his driver just won, Joey Logano, in the NASCAR Cup Series. Let that resonate for you a little bit there, Freak Nation. Hey, we got a break. Coming up next hour, more on Tony Stewart, Leah Pruitt, and the new baby boy. Also, Ryan Blaney, Kyle Larson. We're chasing down Antron Brown. Dude's still having a party out there on the track as he is now crowned a 4-time NHRA Top Fuel champion. And we might even hear more from Steve Phelps, president of NASCAR. Big second hour coming up with the Freaks. Make sure you follow us on Twitter, Instagram, the website, speedfreaks.tv, or therefore on Facebook. June 25th next year, 25 years of the Freaks. More Freaks coming up. Speed Freaks Pits, Lucas Oil Studios.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
For more than 30 years, Lucas Oil Products has been solving some of the most difficult mechanical problems in the automotive, marine, and industrial industries. From our original Core 4 products, heavy-duty oil stabilizer, power steering, stop leak, transmission fix, and fuel treatment, we have now developed over 400 custom products to help solve some of the world's toughest mechanical issues. Go to lucasoil.com to see what we have in store for you. Lucas Oil, it works.
General Tire delivers.
Rev up your passion for speed. Mav TV Go is the ultimate streaming app for race fans. Enjoy exclusive racing, live events, groundbreaking originals, and a lot more. Anytime, anywhere, for free. Whether you're a diehard or just getting started, Mav TV Go has something for everyone. Mav TV Go, your global home of motorsports, now on the go. Download the app now.
3 years of sellout crowds. 3 years of edge-of-your-seat action. 3 years of jaw-dropping finishes. Worldwide Technology Raceway has rocked the world of NASCAR. And now, NASCAR is giving us another reason to celebrate. The 2025 NASCAR Cup Series Championship Playoffs are coming. Sunday, September 7th, 2025. Go to www.raceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
Looking for power to spare? Count on an FVP battery. FVP. Verified, proven.
You're listening to Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
Please hang up and try again.
Live on the Freak Radio Radio Network, broadcasting from the Lucas Oil Studios. Driven by General Tire. It's Speed Freaks. Motorsports Radio redefined with Kenny Sargent.
We love to party.
Crash Gladys.
What are we doing for the bachelorette party?
And Statman.
I am serious.
Here's the Freaks.
You know, Freak Nation, second hour of the Freaks. Coming up, Kyle Larson, Ryan Blaney, more from Steve Phelps, Steve O'Donnell with NASCAR, Statman, Crash, Richard C. Suave. I'm Kenny Sargent. Freak Radio Network, of course, on MAV TV, live on YouTube. When you cover so many different motorsports series like we do, there's not a whole lot of time off, and I'm giggling just a little bit because typically we'll start back up with our show early first part of January when Supercross gets kicking out of Anaheim. When we wrap up typically when NHRA does, but we know that we got Formula One coming up next weekend. And Richie, I'm sorry, my friend, we're not going to be live next weekend. I don't know what you're going to do when I give you 5 good minutes to talk about Formula One in Las Vegas.
Oh, it's all good. That's what the internet's for. I can rant on the internet. I don't need you guys to rant about Formula One. I can just do it by myself.
But do you know what time the Formula One race will be running in Vegas again on the Saturday night, Sunday morning, depending on where you are?
1 a.m. Eastern time. On 1 a.m. Eastern time Sunday morning. And if you're on the East Coast, I will be awake. I'll be 2 Red Bulls deep, and I'll be excited to watch Max Verstappen wrap up his seventh. Jesus, he's not Lewis Hamilton. Feels like his 4th World Driver Championship in a row.
Will it be 2 raw Red Bulls?
What the hell does that
I have no
mean?
idea what that means.
What does that mean, Statman?
I think it means child Red Bulls, not adult beverages.
Yeah. Just
raw
Red Bull, you know. You can't have you know.
Oh, you're saying no, I will not be mixing, Statman, because I will be focused. I'll be focused on the race. Can't be putting vodka in my Red Bull. Come on. Who am I?
Well,
I'm not 22 years old anymore.
Monster is advertising the beast. Isn't that their unraw energy drink?
Yes, he's on to something, man. I have a Red Bull Raw.
There you go.
So would that be like the opposite of an Irish coffee? Is just give me a raw coffee?
Crasher, again, stick to open wheel. You cracking jokes. That means nothing.
The other 2 guys laughed.
Maybe Richie and I should step out now while the married couple works out there.
Oh my gosh. I have a raw, baby. The child's Red Bull.
See, you're laughing now.
My daughter is almost 11 years old, and she cannot stand carbonated beverages. Yes.
Good for her. You've been doing a good job.
Right.
No, that's completely on her. It's just, we've tried. Here, you want to try a Sprite? No. She's had carbonated water before. You'd think it was freaking liquid Tylenol. Oh my God. It's water, man. It's carbonated. Freak Nation. When will we see another manufacturer in NASCAR? Or as the cool kids like to call it, OEs or OEMs? Steve Phelps, the president of NASCAR, was asked that at the State of the Series address at Phoenix, the NASCAR Cup race. Here's Steve talking about the OEMs, the manufacturers that just might be right around the corner here in the Freak Nation.
Yeah, we've had a number of discussions, and what I would say is that we're in different phases depending on the OE. So right now we're in discussion with several OEs about coming in. I won't get into exactly where those are and who they are, but we have an OE that is close, and it's the OE has buy-off from those that that are in the racing portion of that. And so it really just comes down to the business portion. And can we strike a deal that is advantageous for them and for us? Are we the right fit for their brand? Are we not? But I'm cautiously optimistic. And then we need to accelerate the other discussions we've had, because I think, in our opinion, 5 is probably the right number of OEs. Obviously, we're at 3 right now. Would the front runner, if you will, we are a couple years away. It takes a while, obviously, to get up and running. But we're excited about it because we would like to have another OE or 2. And so do our existing 3 OEs. They want to have additional competition from additional OEs for a number of reasons.
So basically, Honda. Are you reading it the same way I am? Honda. We know that there's a lot of controversy going on right now between Honda and IndyCar. Is that what Phelps was alluding to? There's been rumors.
Does Honda have a pushrod engine?
Well, I think that's kind of what he was alluding to in that statement there when he said, would they be the right fit? Would our brand be the right fit for them? So I think that and then he also said, it's a few years down the road. Anything's possible.
Gosh, I think you might be right. I did some digging here in the Freak Nation, and our crack staff just sent me a tweet from Sports Business Journal back in February that says the following: Honda remains in talks about the possibility of joining NASCAR, per source.
Wow. Raw information from Richie.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, indeed.
Talk about that, though. It's when Steve Phelps says the other manufacturers want other manufacturers in the series. It'd be great to have 5. What about that?
5's a lot. 5's a lot.
It'll be good to have somebody else picking up some of the marketing costs. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And if they wanted, they don't talk a lot about win on Sunday, sell on Monday, but they're still, they have to talk about the technology that they have in the cars. So when people go into the showroom, they could say, we are spending time and effort to make our cars better and faster. And we compete against Chevrolet and Ford and Toyota in particular. Those are, if you don't want to buy a Toyota, come buy a Honda. Although I think Honda, it cost billions of dollars to develop a pushrod engine. That the only place they could use it or would want to use it would be in NASCAR.
Toyota has, back up just a second. I've paid particular attention to Toyota over the last couple of years for a variety of reasons. One in particular, we would love to partner with them on a couple of fronts, and just might. But watching Toyota and the way they develop drivers and they develop engines and tech through the outside sources outside of the manufacturers' plants is bananas. And when we started Speed Freaks 25 years ago and Toyota's coming into the series, the hate and disdain provided from those Chevy and Dodge and Ford fans was, it was bananas. But what Toyota's done and hitting the nail on the head with what Statman just brought up, the way Toyota markets not just NASCAR, but the NHRA and other series, sprint car, the way they market to people, to potential buyers, it only helps. And I don't know what kind of money Toyota spends in NASCAR alone, but my goodness, from driver development to what's underneath the hood, for race cars and eventually ends up on the streets. I mean, I would think that it pays dividends for Toyota, but what kind of money does it take? You're right, Stat. Billions of dollars to have a competitive NASCAR Cup car? I don't know.
Yeah, Toyota, you're absolutely right, Kenny. They spend money sponsoring Top Fuel and Funny Car. In fact, Antron Brown is a Toyota driver. He's in a big commercial that they run regularly on sports events. And it's obviously not a Toyota engine in the back of his rail, and the rail doesn't look anything like a Camry or a Corolla or anything else in the NHRA. But they help with technology. They help with aero on the cars. They help with the track and configuring the car for the track temperature and so forth. There's a lot of things that they do that they could use in saying that, they could pop their collar and say, we're with the world champion now. Our technology helped him win that championship, and that technology is in our cars, and you could buy our car instead of a Nova or a Galaxy Nova. Anything else that is out there. I mean, who the heck knows? I don't know. I mean,
a raw Nova,
yeah. 6-cylinder with black wall tires and 3-speed on the column. Yeah.
Sounds so old. A Nova. God. Richie, do you know who made the Nova?
Chevrolet.
Yeah, there you go, Richie.
There you go.
He's not. He drinks raw.
All right, we got a break. Ryan Blaney next. Speed Freaks Pittsburgh Studio.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
Whatever you do, General Tire delivers.
From the labs at Lucas Oil Products, Lucas Oil Complete Engine Treatment is a multifunctional cleaner plus lubricant. For every fill-up of gas or diesel, add one 16-ounce can of Lucas Oil Complete Engine Treatment. One bottle can treat a tank of up to 21 gallons. Its special additives allows a better fuel burn to help increase your miles per gallon. Expect longer engine life, longer oil life, cleaner exhaust, and less fuel consumption. Lucas Oil, it works.
Wendy's breakfast burrito has an entire breakfast in every bite. Fresh cracked eggs, seasoned potatoes, American cheese, cheese sauce, and sausage or bacon. So the first bite is like fresh American cheese sauce. Bacon. And the second bite is like fresh American cheese sauce. Bacon. And the third bite, you get the idea. The boss of breakfast burritos, gotta be Wendy's.
Participating U.S. Wendy's during breakfast hours.
David was in big trouble with the IRS.
At first, I didn't owe that much, but after this year, it was out of control.
Then David called Get a Tax Lawyer.
Right away, they were like, oh yeah, looks like you're qualified to say
Get a Tax Lawyer went to work.
Should have called way sooner.
Get a Tax Lawyer has helped thousands like David fight the IRS and get a fresh start.
Call 800-745-3070. That's 800-745-3070.
Rev up your passion for speed. Mav TV Go is the ultimate streaming app for race fans. Enjoy exclusive racing, live events, groundbreaking originals, and a lot more. Anytime, anywhere, for free. Whether you're a diehard or just getting started, Mav TV Go has something for everyone. Mav TV Go, your global home of motorsports, now on the go. Download the app now.
3 years of sellout crowds, 3 years of edge-of-your-seat action, 3 years of jaw-dropping finishes. Worldwide Technology Raceway has rocked the world of NASCAR, and now NASCAR is giving us another reason to celebrate. The 2025 NASCAR Cup Series Championship playoffs are coming Sunday, September 7th, 2025. Go to www.raceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
You're listening to Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
Freak Nation, we caught up with Ryan Blaney prior to the Phoenix Cup race. Actually, it's a couple of weeks out where they bring in drivers to talk about a number of items, specifically about promoting that race. But we caught up with Ryan Blaney, who at the time was running for another championship. Talked to him about a number of things, but of course had to kick it off about his lettuce, his hair, as the kids call it nowadays. I like to call it lettuce. Got a great ball of hair up top there. Lettuce. Going back with some Ryan Blaney, a freaking flashback here in the Freak Nation, Speed Freaks Pits, and the Lucas Oil Studio. So Ryan Blaney, I walked up to you and said, your lettuce is looking good today, but first thing out of your mouth was to trim it up. But why trim it up, man? You got to have the race day, the playoff lettuce, the playoff beard.
I know. I've gone this far without cutting it this year, so I'll probably just let it rip. And yeah, the playoff beard has started a week ago, so it's it'll come in nicely, and hopefully it brings us the same luck it did last year.
I've jammed a microphone in Roger Penske's face for 25 years now, and it seems that I always get in a conversation about facial hair. Do you still have a conversation with Roger about your facial hair?
Well, I keep it very good through the year, but then when playoffs start, it kind of, hey, it's playoff time, beard time, it's a superstitious kind of thing. But through the year, I'm very clean shaven and stuff like that. But once these final 10 weeks start, I think it's appropriate.
Is it even a thing now with Roger?
No, not anymore. Not anymore. I think he's laid off a little bit. He'll let you know though, like getting a little long, but then you take it, it's like, okay, I'll shave. But yeah, it is a thing still, but you be smart about it. I know that. And that's why I keep it so clean shaven through the year before the playoffs, so I can have a little bit more leeway when I get to the final 10 weeks,
We talked about this on the show Sunday night, about the 3 races that kick off the playoffs and the diversity of those races. And granted, I understand drivers like certain tracks that they do well at, but the diversity of those tracks we like as fans. You as a driver, you've got the quote-unquote super speedway of Atlanta, Watkins Glen, and then, of course, Bristol. Is that a good way to start off the playoffs?
It definitely throws an oddball in it. It's kind of a completely different first round than we've had. I know a lot of people were nervous about Atlanta, kicking it off, just being a kind of a speedway nature track. But we did a really good job, last week at Atlanta, and short of the win, we had a great day. So we accepted that challenge and just went racing, and tried not to let anything psych you out. Like, oh, it's speedway is the first race. It's like, well, doesn't matter if it's in the playoffs or not. You're always going to try to perform, right, and do the right things, and we happen to do that. So go to the Glen this weekend. First time Watkins Glen been in the playoffs, so that'll be exciting. Hopefully our road course program is where it needs to be. I'll find out Saturday when I get on the racetrack. I'm not sure. But yeah, I think we're starting off, really well. I think our group is where they need to be, and try to get through this first round and then attack the next one.
But that's what you're supposed to say. About half what you said right there, you're going through your Rolodex you need to say. you are. But that's so true. Do you have an idea of the car that you're going to jump in for Watkins Glen?
Well, no. I mean, you don't. I mean, you can prepare all you want, right? I mean, we do sim work before these races and stuff. But at the same time, like, you don't particularly know how you're going to be, especially against the competition. Like, you might know, okay, hey, we're running this in the sim and my car feels okay in the sim. But until you get out there, and you don't know what everyone else has got, right? If you got to go find half a second somewhere, like, oh, well, this is different now, and now I got to push harder, or we got to work on our car to try to get there. So I think that's the beauty about it, and that's the beauty of sports. Like, you don't know what anyone has until they go down the field or get on the racetrack. Like, and then you find out everything, and you're trying to learn under fire, and you're trying to learn quickly. So that's what makes it challenging, and that's what makes, I think, great teams great, is they can figure it out fast, and they can figure it out quicker than everybody else.
Who are you looking into? Who do you follow? How do you pinpoint those seconds to pick up at Watkins Glen?
Yeah, so I'm usually a person, I don't normally like follow people to try to get an idea in practice. Like, I'll just try to go focus on, like, especially the first run of practice. Kind of how I approach it is, you're going to go out, you're going to try to get a pretty good gap by yourself and really just kind of fine tune your craft. All right, am I doing everything I need to do? Kind of getting up to speed. And then I'm trying to figure out at the same time, all right, what's my car need to do better once I get up to speed, and I'm trying to do everything right. And then after, like, your first run, you go in and you look at data. Okay, where am I running? What lap times am I running? How far off am I, or how close are we? And then, you have your SMT data, kind of all the virtual cars you can look at. You can look at guys' brake trace, throttle trace. You can learn off of that. And that's really the biggest tool for me, is I can watch, and you can overlay your car to somebody else who you want to watch. I go, okay, he's getting into turn 1 deeper, or he's getting off of turn 2 a little bit better than I am. And then I kind of go out for my second run, and then I try to work on those things.
Who's that overlapping car typically for Ryan Blaney? Is it Tyler Reddick? Is it Kyle Larson?
It honestly just depends on the weekend. You look who's fast in practice, and then so I don't watch somebody religiously every week because that person might not be great that week, and you have to go look at somebody else. But I'd say the better road course guys, right? Like, yeah, Reddick's great. Byron's really good road racer. Larson, Chase. Those are the kind of the guys I look at. Martin's Truex is pretty good. So those handful of guys I try to focus on because, especially on road courses, because I know they typically run very well, especially at Watkins Glen.
You remember who you watched coming into the Phoenix finale, Ryan?
I didn't watch anybody. I was so focused on our deal. Like, I didn't really watch any data, like SMT stuff. We just focused on, hey, our speed is close. All right, so I don't really want to watch anybody. Let's just focus and talk about where can we get our car better, So that's all I wanted to focus on. Once I knew I was in the ballpark of those other 3 guys, it's like, all right, I don't need to watch it. I just want to focus on how can we have our conversation about our car, because I didn't want to throw ourselves off. It's like, oh, he's doing this way better than me. We really need to work on this. We need to work on this. Like, let's just focus on our deal. And that's really what we did.
Do you even remember the lead up to it? Because it was such a big occasion for you. Were you able to take it all in?
That's tough. That's the tough part. Everything happens quick, right? Like right when we won the championship, I was telling people, like, let's slow down, like, let's take it all in.
You were saying that at your age. Yeah. Let's slow it down. Yeah. Really? That's things I say at my age.
Yeah. I mean, I just wanted to try to appreciate it, right? Because everything happens quick. They go on stage, do this, do that. You're getting shoved over here. Okay, the car's leaving now. It's like, wow, man, I want to appreciate this. And I think that would be the neatest thing about winning. If you can win a second, is you're going to understand, like, okay, this is kind of the procedure that post race is about. And you're going to be able to, slow things down easier because it's not all a first for you, right? And things aren't going a million miles a second, So that's what makes me hungry about the second one, is I think you're gonna appreciate it a lot more.
You talk about stepping back and appreciating things and taking things in. I can't do anything but look forward to your wedding, because that was the advice we were given. And so, yeah, to just kind of step back. There's so many things going on, kind of like a championship. You're just like, oh, get away from me, get out of my head. But yeah, it's the chance to be able to do that in any big event in your life. Easier said than done, though.
It is easier said than done, that's for sure. I mean, because you work so hard on trying to get to that moment, and when it happens, right, you're overjoyed and you're trying to figure out, how do I need to act, So, but yeah, I mean, it was great. And yeah, I mean, the same thing of slowing down, like the wedding here today, it's 3 months to the day away. It's going to be here before you know it. And my fiance and I were to the point of, we're sick of planning. Like, we're done planning. We just want it to be here and like enjoy it with our friends and family. But it's been fun, actually. It's like preparing for a championship, like all the work that goes into it.
Don't tell her that.
Probably more work, honestly. Oh, she laughed. I told her that. She laughed at. She was like, yeah, I'll just see. It's probably pretty close. But I said, well, this is way better though. The wedding's way better. So way bigger deal. But we're excited about it, and should be a good time.
I see you golf. I see you do some other things in your off time. Yeah, the Olympic break was nice for you guys. What do you do to get your mind off the things that might stress you out otherwise?
Yeah, I always, we're traveling all weekend, and, in the race shops, through the week. And I always try to like reserve one day to not do anything like related to my job, whether that's like Wednesday, Thursday before we fly out. One day I don't think about racing. Like, I don't answer emails about racing. I don't do any of that. I just, you need one day to separate yourself, I feel like, or else you're going to go crazy because you can obsess about this stuff. And so I think having that is nice. So I like, I don't know, it sounds pretty boring, but like, I love my house. Like, I love being home and hanging with my fiance and our animals. And like, that's the best thing to me. I golf. I mean, I do golf. And so that's that part I really do enjoy doing. But yeah, just being at home, like that's like luxury to me because it's great.
Can you take 24 hours off of all devices?
Not all devices. No, I don't. I mean, you're still on your phone, right? Everyone's glued to those things nowadays. It's just way of the world. But yeah, I try not to, even like on that day off, I try not to look on like Twitter, or it's not called Twitter anymore, X or Instagram. But I do like seeing it just because I get informed. Like, that's how I get informed of what's going on, whether it's in the racing world or anything else. It's how I get my news. So I try, but it's hard. I mean, who can really go 24 hours without a device? I mean, That's like impossible to do. You can read a book for 24 hours. You can't do it.
Blaney, you don't do golf. You play golf. I just like my house. Ward Cleaver of NASCAR Cup Series. Getting married next month, though, Freak Nation. About 1 month away. All right, coming up next, a little freaky flashback with Kyle Larson after his Brickyard win. He joins us next right here. Speed Freaks Pits and the Lucas Oil Studios. Be sure to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and our website, speedfreaks.tv. More Freaks.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
As your power steering pump ages, seal leaks may occur, causing the power steering system to lose fluid. Your power steering system may also develop an annoying squeal, and the steering may become more difficult to handle. By using Lucas Power Steering Stop Leak, you will stop the seal leaks, reduce slack in rack and pinion, eliminate the squeals and hard spots in your power steering system. It is guaranteed to stop seal leaks or your money back. Lucas Power Steering Stop Leak. It works.
Whatever you do, General Tire delivers.
Rev up your passion for speed. Mav TV Go is the ultimate streaming app for race fans. Enjoy exclusive racing, live events, groundbreaking originals, and a lot more. Anytime, anywhere, for free. Whether you're a diehard or just getting started, Mav TV Go has something for everyone. Mav TV Go, your global home of motorsports, now on the go. Download the app now.
Wendy's breakfast burrito has an entire breakfast in every bite. Fresh cracked eggs, seasoned potatoes, American cheese, cheese sauce, and sausage or bacon. So the first bite is like fresh cracked American cheese sauce. Bacon. And the second bite is like fresh American cheese sauce. Bacon. And the third bite, you get the idea. The boss of breakfast burritos, gotta be Wendy's.
At participating U.S. Wendy's during breakfast hours.
What's better than one win? 3 wins. With Straight Savings, you keep your own phone, get one line for only $25 a month with real unlimited data, and get rewarded with a $200 phone credit after 12 months. It's a win-win-win. Head to Walmart or visit straighttalk.com today. Switch to Straight Talk. Less dollars, more sense. Straight Savings Plan enrollment requires compatible unlocked device and new line of service. Bonus device credit requires 12 months of active service. Offer ends if eligibility requirements are no longer met. Taxes and fees apply. For network management practices, see Straight Talk's terms and conditions.
3 years of sellout crowds. 3 years of edge-of-your-seat action. 3 years of jaw-dropping finishes. Worldwide Technology Raceway has rocked the world of NASCAR. And now, NASCAR is giving us another reason to celebrate. The 2025 NASCAR Cup Series Championship playoffs are coming. Sunday, September 7th, 2025. Go to www.raceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
Looking for power to spare? Count on an FVP battery. FVP. Verified, proven.
Are you tired of high cable TV rates? Sign up for Dish today and get a $500 bonus offer while supplies last. Plus, lock in your price for 2 years guaranteed. Call All American Dish, your Dish authorized retailer now.
800-296-1251. 800-296-1251. That's 800-296-1251. Offers require credit qualification, 24-month commitment, early termination fee, and e-auto pay. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
You're listening to Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio redefined.
Freak Nation, make your plans now to get yourself a new set of General Tires. Fall's here. Winter's coming. Wet weather. You want to make sure you're on a new set of General Tires. For more information, check it out at GeneralTire.com. That's GeneralTire.com. General Tire, the official tire of Speed Freaks for over 2 decades. Freak Nation, we caught up with Kyle Larson after his Brickyard win this year. The Brickyard on that big-ass oval, not the road course. And according to Kyle, thank goodness, that oval means something. That road course, not so much. It's Kyle Larson here with the Freaks, Speed Freaks Pits and the Lucas Oil Studios. Kyle Larson joining us here in the Freak Nation. And Kyle, your Brickyard win was nice. It was nice to watch. It's fun to watch you and the family out there on the bricks. But I've been a proponent for the road course there, and I understand the importance of winning there on the oval of the Brickyard. But you as a driver that likes to run so many different disciplines, is it different to you to win on the road course there versus the oval?
Well, I mean, I'd never won on the road course, so I don't know how my feelings would have been. But I would imagine it wouldn't have felt the same. Like winning on the oval, it means so much more. So yeah, I mean, I would imagine if I happened to win on the road course, it would have just felt like another win, and it would have been. I don't even know if I would have kissed the bricks, honestly. I would have probably bent down and made myself look like I was kissing it, but I don't think I would have. Just because I think you should have to win on the oval to kiss the bricks. So thankfully, NASCAR brought it back to the oval, and it was actually a really good race, I thought, with the way the strategy was playing out, and we came out on top, so it makes it even better. But yeah, it's just on the road course, it's just not a crown jewel. So every race team, every driver, I think they wanted it on the oval for sure.
Okay, let's go to that crown jewel thing. I mean, I'm an Indianapolis native. I was born and raised basically in the backyard of that racetrack, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. I want everything great to happen to that facility. But in calling it like a crown jewel, or they kept saying on the broadcast several weeks ago how iconic it was, I feel like the Brickyard was that, but things have just changed so much over the years that it was kind of a push to use that same terminology. But did you really feel it? Like, obviously with your win, you're gonna say absolutely, but you felt that from the entire garage, the whole atmosphere of NASCAR saying we're back where we belong and this should be a crown jewel event moving forward?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I listened to a lot of drivers' interviews, and I didn't hear anybody say that we should be on the road course. So, I heard all sorts of drivers saying they're so happy to have a crown jewel back. So, yeah, I mean, I had that feeling the whole time. Once the schedule came out and we knew that we were on the oval, it was like awesome. Now we have another big event to chase to add to our resume. So. Yeah, I hope it continues to stick on the oval because, all of us drivers would much rather win on the oval.
Now we just need to get you an IndyCar win on that oval.
Oh, yeah, no, that'd be sweet for sure.
Are you in trouble for what you said post-race, saying, okay, I'm going to do everything I can to come back here in May?
No, I mean, I don't, what's there to get in trouble about? No, everybody knows, that I would love to get back there. So cool. Give it another shot and hopefully do the double. I mean, that's really the most important piece to me. It was great to get to run the Indy 500 this year, but I wanted to run the double. I wanted to run both races on the same day, and just unfortunately didn't get to do that this year. But hopefully there's another opportunity, whether it be next year or down the road. I don't know, but yeah, I would love to just get to try and tackle a tough sporting event that or sporting events, I guess, that not many people have gotten the chance to do.
Doing a little research there, you wanted Peevely, I think it was last weekend, the pictures from there, and even in the copy, they talked about the front wheels coming off the ground on their last lap in the big pass. I've always wondered, a sprint car driver, when those wheels come off the ground, generally it's acceleration in a straight line, but how do you steer the car with the steering wheels up in the air?
Oh, I mean, obviously you have to get the front tires back on the ground, but you try and do it. I mean, usually naturally it comes down on its own, so you don't really have to do a whole lot. But if it's getting carried away, I mean, yeah, you just either lift off the throttle or drag some brake, and it'll pull the front end back down. But
Yeah, more than that. You came from like 21st or something like that.
Yeah.
You passed almost the whole field. Did it ever surprise you? The first time I saw the wheels come off the ground in the sprint car, I was stunned. Did it ever surprise you the first time it happened to you? They said, "What's going on?"
I don't know. I can't really remember. I think, I mean, honestly, the cars that I grew up driving when I was a kid, outlaw carts, they're probably more violent even than a sprint car. So in a lot of ways, the sprint car felt more calm and not easy, but just like, more easier to control. Yeah, just because you have suspension and power steering and stuff like that. But no, the go-karts, like, they would pop wheelies as well. So you kind of develop some skills at a super, super young age.
Hey, Kyle, looking at the kind of money that's being thrown around between the World of Outlaws and high limit racing, this is bananas. There's millions and millions of dollars out there on dirt. Is it just who's got the biggest bank account to draw these drivers to the race?
Some of the events have grown, to have bigger purses, and then high limit, we acquired the All-Star Series and was able to pump a lot of money into our series. So now we're fairly equal to the World of Outlaws as far as traveling purse and stuff. Our race events are probably larger. Their point fund money is a little bit bigger, but they also race more. But yeah, in general, there's just way more money to race for this year. So it's great. I think the money gets spread out across different competitors a little bit more. So I think there's more teams making better money this year than any other year before. So yeah, it's been great to see. And obviously I'm going to be a little biased because we're high limit, but it's been great to see that there can be two successful traveling teams and not really rob from each other. If anything, benefit from each other.
See, that's exactly where I wanted to go with you on this. Not everyone, but there's a group of people out there that want to make this a big controversy and you guys hate each other, or World of Outlaws, high limit, whatever. No, the competition has bred greater purses, more sponsorship coming in, and arguably greater racing to boot.
Yeah, thanks. And two, I mean, on top of that, you have both series have a traveling safety team now where, there was none of that before. So that's, if anything, the most important piece. I think just not only series pushing bigger purses, which we all want and teams deserve, but also, pushing safety and hopefully, getting these tracks to invest some money into their facilities to make the sport a little bit more safe and professional and all of that. So, I think competition has been good. And I think, you've seen the sport grow positively, even though in the beginning, a lot of people thought it was probably a negative thing happening.
Oh, quickly, Corey Day, this guy is doing bananas on dirt, now running some races with Hendrick Motorsports. What's Kyle Larson's take on Corey Day and really how he's taken racing by storm?
Yeah, no, it's awesome. He's extremely talented. It's fun to watch him. It's tough to beat him. So when you do beat him, even though he's 18 or whatever, it feels really good. So it's weird. I did an interview last night because we had a great race, battling for the win. I was able to edge him out, but the interviewer asked me what's it like racing him and battling for wins? Because I haven't really done a ton of it yet. And I was like, man, I would imagine it's a little bit like racing myself. I don't get to do that obviously, but I feel like he's so similar to me on the racetrack and the aggressiveness, the never quit, the always trying to find, a faster way around or a different way to get around the track and stuff. Like it's exciting to watch. It's easy to be a fan. He's always putting on a show. And it's crazy. So yeah, he's very, very much like me. I think as I've gotten older, I'm a little bit more calculated. I can still be aggressive like him, but I'm a little bit more calculated, and I'm sure that'll come too as he gets older and crashes and wins more races and understands, how to win races. It'll be so hard to beat him. So he's really good, and I'm excited to kind of see where his future goes and kind of where this path leads him and how far it leads him. And regardless, he's going to be successful in anything he gets in.
And, of course, Kyle Larson catching up with him after his Brickyard win. And you didn't see our faces, but he heard a couple of about winning on the oval versus winning on the road course, where if he won on the road course, he didn't think he'd kiss the bricks. But damn it, he kissed the bricks after that oval win at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Freak Nation, Antron Brown got himself a big old freaking win and another championship. He joins us next, right here. Top Fuel champion, 4 times over. It's all coming up. Speed Freaks Pits and the Lucas Oil Studios.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
Wendy's breakfast burrito has an entire breakfast in every bite. Fresh cracked eggs, seasoned potatoes, American cheese, cheese sauce, and sausage or bacon. So the first bite is like fresh cracked sausage or bacon. And the second bite is like fresh American cheese sauce, bacon. And the third bite, you get the idea. The boss of breakfast burritos, gotta be Wendy's.
At participating U.S. Wendy's during breakfast hours.
What's better than 1 win? 3 wins? With Straight Savings, you keep your own phone, get 1 line for only $25 a month with real unlimited data, and get rewarded with a $200 phone credit after 12 months. It's a win-win-win. Head to Walmart or visit straighttalk.com today. Switch to Straight Talk. Less dollars, more sense. Straight Savings Plan enrollment requires compatible unlocked device and new line of service. Bonus device credit requires 12 months of active service. Offer ends if eligibility requirements are no longer met. Taxes and fees apply. For network management practices, see Straight Talk's terms and conditions.
Keeping your pride and joy perfect is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Start with Slick Mist Speed Wax. Simply mist on and wipe off for a professional detailer shine. For your tires and trim, there's Lucas Slick Mist Tire and Trim Shine. Spray on and wipe off for better than new look. Then finish her with Lucas Slick Mist Interior Detailer. Just spray and wipe. Easy. Use Lucas Slick Mist Car Care products and she'll never look better. Fast, easy, and professional. Really, it's sort of like having an extra set of hands. Or 3.
Rev up your passion for speed. MAVTV Go is the ultimate streaming app for race fans. Enjoy exclusive racing, live events, groundbreaking originals, and a lot more. Anytime, anywhere, for free. Whether you're a diehard or just getting started, MAVTV Go has something for everyone. MAVTV Go, your global home of motorsports, now on the go. Download the app now.
Whatever you do, General Tire delivers.
Looking for power to spare? Count on an FVP battery. FVP. Verified, proven.
3 years of sellout crowds. 3 years of edge-of-your-seat action. 3 years of jaw-dropping finishes. Worldwide Technology Raceway has rocked the world of NASCAR. And now, NASCAR is giving us another reason to celebrate. The 2025 NASCAR Cup Series Championship playoffs are coming. Sunday, September 7th, 2025. Go to www.raceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
Freak Nation, head to your local General Tire dealership now to check out the latest additions to their product lineup. The Grabber family of tires are engineered for durability and feature innovative performance features that offer all-terrain capability, blending exceptional off-road durability and impressive on-road performance, all while sporting aggressive styling. For outstanding off-road performance coupled with strong street manners, look no further than General Tire. General Tire delivers for whatever you do, and the official tire of Speed Freaks since 2001.
You're listening to Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio redefined.
This freaking segment is brought to you by our friends at Lucas Oil. Now, what automobile do you have in the garage? I bet Lucas Oil could keep that thing fat and happy and on the road. From everyday car care, heavy-duty trucking to agriculture, hot rods, classic cars, motorcycles, and marine, Lucas Oil has what you need to keep those engines, interiors, and exteriors looking like and running like they're supposed to be. For more information, go to the website, lucasoil.com, and find the perfect Lucas Oil product. Keep your rides on the road. Freak Nation, coming up in moments, we're going to hear from Antron Brown post-race as he was crowned 4-time NHRA Top Fuel champion here in the Freak Nation. And his crew chief, Mark Oswald, will be retiring. Mark Oswald drove the Candies and Hughes funny car back in the day, Freak Nation. And I believe he was the only driver to win a championship in 3 different racing series. NHRA in the same year. NHRA, IHRA, and I think it was the American Hot Rod Association, I think it was. But the significance of Mark Oswald, it's not lost on Antron Brown and what he's meant to the team. It's Antron Brown talking about the race win and what Mark Oswald meant to the team.
I see you looking at Doug Coletta. I'll release you in just 1 second, sir. But a championship and a race win. But next season, you will start it without Mark Oswald. How much of an impact has he been to you?
He's a huge impact, and to go out like this for Mark, you know, he's definitely a follower of God, always kept me accountable, kept me straight. But what a man. He has such a career, a true champion, and he's what made us all champions. How to stay cool, calm, collective. If you saw me all day, Amanda, I brought the Iceman back, and I was just cool, calm, steady. And I told Mark one day, I said, man, he goes, AB, you know they call me an Iceman. You know why? You got to stay chill. I said, well, you know what's more dangerous than you being an Iceman? I said, I'm black ice, baby. You don't see me coming. No, I'm just joking with you, but we love you, Mark. Can't do it without you. To go home with a win and a championship, all for you, brother. Love you. Woo!
Crasher, was fun to be there and watch that happen, wasn't it? Hold on just a second. Let me go ahead. Sorry.
It was so great. Just he said that Iceman to Black Ice comment a couple of times today, and it was just hilarious. We were all just like, wait, what did he just say? He goes, I'm Black Ice. You just don't see me coming. So perfect. And it's true, guys. Think about what he had to go through today, not just to win the race, which he did, but to win the championship. And like you said, his 4th championship, it was a murderer's row of who he had to beat in order to be where he is now, a champion and a season finale winner. First, Justin Ashley, his Lucas Oil teammate, who was leading the points at the time. Antron beat him in round 1. Oh, after about a 2-hour delay after that plane crash as well, because those were the 2 guys up on the starting line when that plane crash happened. They had to be taken out of their cars and just imagine the stress of that. Second round, Sean Langdon, who was one of the lowest ETs of the weekend. You knew he was going to be no slouch. It was a pedal fest. Antron wins the pedal fest. Third round, Brittany Force, who was still in the championship hunt. He had to take her down. He did. And then taking Brittany Force down, he was crowned the champion. So he didn't really need to win the race. But you're up against Doug Coletta, last year's champion. How else do you want to end the year and show that you are deserving of this year's championship? You take out last year's champion, which is what he did in the finals. Mind blown at how hard his day was today, but he did it.
Go and take that graphic back down, Richie. Here is more from Antron Brown after his big race win as a team owner. And again, it's the driver of his own team, Antron Brown here at the Freaks.
Tell you what, this team has been resilient. We never quit. We never stop. And when we lined up this weekend and we saw our matchup, because we didn't qualify where we wanted to, it was like doomsday. Justin Ashley, first round. Then you go to Sean Langdon, and we both were trying to throw it at the wood, try to throw at it, didn't go down. And that last round against Brittany, we got to go down the track. We got to hit the tree, go down the track, and if they run at 64, 65, so be it. But we got to at least give ourselves a fighting chance. And that 68 came right on time, got down through there to get this win. I tell you what, it's been incredible. Truly a blessing. I love all my family at home, my kids, everybody. We love you. This is coming back to Indianapolis, Indiana. And I can't believe we did it.
Okay, so here's the deal.
Yeah.
He also, in the entire countdown, he never had a 3.6 second run until today, and he had multiple. It was his day. It was his day. It was his year.
I'm going to say it right now. Conspiracy theory.
What? What? And where and why? Huh? No.
Crash that plane.
Well, either that or they bought some NASCAR officials over and made it possible. They figured out a way to wiggle the rules.
How come nobody's complaining about Antron's championship in the playoffs like they were Joey Logano last week? Huh? Antron seems to be a very popular win.
Very
He's
popular
with a
win.
Toyota and not a Ford. Maybe it was the Toyota people.
Just look, it's so true. Look who he beat. He didn't just slide into that championship. When we saw that he was going to take on his teammate in that first round, like, oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Teammate who was the points owner at the time, or the series points owner at the time.
Yeah, I think Antron went into the weekend like third or fourth in the points and had to climb over everybody to get there. Yeah.
Yeah, he had to beat Justin Ashley, who was ahead of him. But Doug Coletta was only 10 points behind him. And with Pomona each round being 1.5 points, Coletta could have grabbed him like that. So the way the ladder played out might have been, at first glance, it wasn't looking good for Antron, but maybe it did in the long run play out to his advantage. But he still had to win the rounds. He had to go the entire day to get this championship. He did just that.
Yeah, and Brittany's won a couple of championships. She's certainly no pushover. So, yeah, he deserved the championship today. He, strapped it up and went and got it.
Crasher, how visible was John Force today at the track?
He was in their SUV more often than not. But I saw him on the starting line. He got out a couple times, whether it was with Brittany or with his funny car contingent. It was great to see him. It was really great to see him. He seemed a little overwhelmed. Mm-hmm. When the Cessna crashed at the top end, we had just started the day of Top Fuel. We only had 2 pairs go down at that point. It was interesting timing because John Force goes up and gets on mic with Alan Reinhardt on the PA system. That was cool. The audience just went as silent as they could to hang on to every word John Force was saying. So that was kind of nifty, but seeing him otherwise, he seemed overwhelmed, but it was just good to see him regardless.
I saw him in Vegas and kind of the same thing where it just back in the corner, not really wanting to try and take the spotlight from the team or the driver. Yep. And his offseason
his points that Beckman got go to him. So he ends up second in the championship this year behind Austin Prock, the person that he says he would like to have replace him when he retires.
And what was the feeling about Beckman next year, Crasher? Was there some talk about that?
Well, Amanda asked him at the top end after he won the event. And she said, what would you say to John Force if he were to talk to you about 2025? And he just basically said, hey, John, this is about 2025. Yes.
Nice.
He made it very clear that he'd be interested in driving that car. Yeah.
Yep.
The NHRA is better when Jack Beckman is in it.
And he's the perfect personality fit and talent fit for John Force. It's just, they're both immense personalities.
Yeah, both Austin's going to be a major personality. He's certainly no shrinking violet. He can step up and give a good interview, which you've seen here on the Speed Freaks. And certainly Beckman is a teacher at the Frank Holly School as well as being a former champion himself. So he knows what he's doing behind the wheel.
Think of Austin Prock. And I don't know if there's any other driver out there that you can say this about. Okay. Sprint car driver, midget driver, Top Fuel driver, funny car driver. Austin Procken, now champion.
Freak Nation, next time we are live, I hope to have the answer that everyone is curious about. Did Tony Stewart cut the umbilical cord of his baby boy? We'll figure it out.
That's all started by us.
Mm-hmm. All right, man. Thank you guys for being a part of this big old thing. Stat man, shoot the juice to the moose.
Cut it loose.
Yeah.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio.